Good evening, everyone. My name is Elmira, and I'm really happy to welcome each of you to our IJB InkJetBiz training sessions. We will be doing training sessions on a monthly basis, and we're currently experimenting with timing. For this month, we've chosen 5 p.m. instead of our usual afternoon schedule, so that those of you who are working can participate with us. And if you have any suggestions or ideas for upcoming sessions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. So today we're going to be talking about maximizing profits with Siser vinyls. And we're really excited about this because this is a brand new product line for us. And we have one of the industry's best experts, Melissa Cox from Siser, joining us. She'll be talking to us about these new cutters, new vinyls, and offer insightful tips and tricks. So please feel free to write down your questions on the panel, and we'll address them at the end of our training. So let me turn it over to Melissa. Melissa?
Everybody, I'm Melissa with Siser North America. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm excited to show you some of our new products, especially our Juliet cutter. Juliet is one of our 2 new cutters that we recently launched. We also have Romeo, who's 24 inches wide. Both are very high definition, high precision vinyl cutters. They come with the free software, Leonardo Design Studio, which you can download now if you want to start playing with it. And it gives you full functionality here on the screen or through the software. It's got all of the presets, so all of our products, or most of our products are already on here. All the presets already done. You can also change them, fix them, remove them, whatever you want to do on those. So right now I have it set on EasyColor. That's our new-ish direct to vinyl. That's our EasyColor DTV. So once I have my blade here, this does come with a professional blade holder, along with 3 blades. So 2 45-degree blades and a 60-degree blade. The 45-degree blade is for your everyday use, regular vinyls. 60-degree blades is a sharper blade. So that's going to be used for thicker products like leather. I use it on our Brick 600, which we'll show you that later. I love the light that it has here too. It actually makes reading really nice when you're right in front of the light. Also, it has a built-in camera in here. So instead of an optical eye, it's got an actual camera. So a little bit more high precision than an optical eye. These will also go up to 800 grams of force and cut up to 600 millimeters a second. It does come with a cutting mat. You don't have to use a cutting mat. It's actually quite rare that I use one. But I do like to use it when cutting our EasyColor DTV because I have these registration marks up so high on the page. Otherwise, if I had them lower, I wouldn't use a mat. So this is our high tack mat. We also have a low tack, but I just kind of prefer the high tack. So I'm going to load this in. It does have, this one has 3 pinch rollers, which I can move these around if I want to, especially if I want to cut like a little 2-inch scrap or something. You can move these around and adjust to whatever size vinyl you're working with if you're not using a mat. So once I have that, I usually try to have it locked into this corner. So now on my software, so I'm going to hop on over to Leonardo Design Studio. Make sure your cutter is either hooked up with Wi-Fi. You can connect via Wi-Fi or via USB. That's up to you. It also has a test cut feature here, which I will show. So I can move this head wherever I want it to go. I'll do it about right there. There's a little test cut button here. I just hit that and it's going to do my little test cut for me. So then I can feed it out, look at my cut, see how it weeds, which it weeds just fine. So I'm going to put this back. Move my blade to be sectioned right over your first registration mark. So I'm going to hit send to cutter. And now it reminds me, make sure my machine is ready, the blade is intact, and I click OK. So this camera is actually reading these registration marks. Yeah. So this also has a little built-in light too, so it knows where to look. So once it's found all those corners, now it's going to cut the whole design. I can also speed it up here if I want to, like if I want to speed it up, or if I want to slow it down, I could do it in the middle of cutting. That's no problem. I'll speed that up just a little bit. So very quiet. I think that's a big plus. Also just very stylish. She looks very pretty on a shelf. Romeo does not have this top piece, but Juliet closes up completely. So again, we're cutting on our EasyColor DTV. This is an aqueous inkjet vinyl. So you just use a standard inkjet printer. Yeah, just an everyday standard inkjet printer is totally fine. We do recommend that you wash. So after you apply it to your garment, you do want to wash it at least one time before you wear it. If you don't wash it first and walk out into the rain or spill liquid on you, it could just kind of run a little bit as well. So while that's cutting, I will get my mouse. So now I just pull this lever back here, and that will release your vinyl. And then you can, it does have a feature where you can add weeding boxes. So it automatically puts a little box around your image. Okay. So once you have this masked, so we're going to put this on a little t-shirt here. So notice I'm draping this hem. I don't want to take away any of the pressure because this is sort of a heavy, thicker hem. So I would use like a pillow or something to kind of bump up that pressure, or just drape it off the side so it doesn't get in the way. Always preheat your garment. That takes any moisture out of the fabric. Pull this up. This. You don't necessarily have to use a mask when transferring. If you just have one solid piece of vinyl, you can just peel it off the carrier and stick it on the shirt. It won't curl up. If it does curl up, you can just lower the heat press platen. The heat will make it straight again. So then we peel this hot. So now we have our first shirt. So it does come off with a glossy sheen when using the mask, but we can go over it with another press with parchment paper or butcher paper, for example, and that'll make it a matte finish. So you can change the sheen to this. So again, this is just for inkjet aqueous printers, just standard everyday desktop printer that you probably already have at home. We also have different printable products, some for solvent, eco-solvent latex, and then we have other products for sublimation. So 3 different ink systems, 3 different products. Our color print products are made for solvent, eco-solvent latex inks. The newest one we have is our color print Aurora. This has a texture, like a twill sort of texture to it, and a metallic sheen. So it's a lot of fun. So again, solvent, eco-solvent latex. We have several color print products. That's just the newest one. We have from everyday standard ones. We have sparkly ones. We have raised brick ones, all kinds of prints. We also have sublimation vinyl. So yes, an actual vinyl you can sublimate onto. Essentially, you just run this through your sublimation printer, and you're not limited to just white polyester anymore. This is on a black cotton t-shirt. So you can feel it on there. It's not like regular sublimation because it is still a vinyl, but it's used just like a regular print and cut product. So run it through your printer, run it through your cutter, weed away the excess, add a mask to it if you need it, and then you apply it. So these will all last the life of the garment, I like to say. I mean, we get more than 40 washes out of a lot of these. So we make sure we test our products before they ever go out on the market, because we don't. So some new products that we have now is, so going back to that Aurora, we have a non-printable version as well. So this is just called our standard Aurora. I'll put this on a shirt so you can see it. It has that same twill texture to it with the metallic sheen. Again, always preheating my garment. This comes, I believe, in 7 or 8 colors, I want to say. I can't remember, but you know what's really helpful is downloading the Siser app on your phone, whether you have an Android or an Apple. You have everything at the touch of your fingertips. So all the settings, cut settings, application settings, colors, everything you would need to know about a Siser product, including our blog, links to our videos. Now, most of our products are a hot peel. This one's more of a warm peel. So see, it's like this metallic twill sort of product. So it's a lot of fun just to do like standard apparel, or you can also turn it into like a faux rhinestone design. That's a lot of fun. You can also do that with our holographic vinyl, which is super fun, which I'll show that to you just really quickly here. So the holographic, within your artwork, if you turn your artwork into little dots, essentially, you can turn that into a faux rhinestone design. So since it's separated with little circles here, it's now stretchy, it feels soft, you can't even really feel it on the garment. Also, our products are CPSIA compliant. That means that they are child safe. Rhinestones are not child safe. This also does not have the weight and a feel of a rhinestone, and it's not going to fall off like a rhinestone. It's going to stay on the garment until you throw it away. Or if your child or your dog were to accidentally eat a piece of it, they'll be fine. So we also have, this is probably one of the most popular products right now. A lot of people are asking for, which I think is funny, because years ago it was a race to have the thinnest product on the market, and now everybody wants a thicker raised products on the market. So EasyPuff was our answer to that, or one of our answers to that. This goes on at like, I think 275 for 7 seconds. I have mine up a little bit higher. I actually have mine at 313. I usually have it about 305, 310. But since I'm not going to adjust this, I'm just going to apply this for maybe 5 or 6 seconds instead of 7 seconds. So that's a good trick to have, because if you're decorating like rayon or silk or tri-blends or something that can scorch, you want to be able to lower that temperature. So I would lower it to maybe 270, for example, but increase your press time. So instead of pressing for maybe 10 seconds, I'll maybe press it for 17 seconds or something like that. So this is our EasyPuff. It puffs right on the shirt, right before your eyes. Excellent on any type of apparel, especially hats right now. I think it seems to be very big. So speaking of raised and thicker products, we also have our Brick 600. So this is 600 micron, which is about 24 mil thick, very thick product. Cuts very easily on the Juliet and the Romeo. You can't say that about other craft cutters, but you can with ours. And you can cut the smallest detail on this thick vinyl too. So again, I'm preheating my shirt. I'm going to apply this brick on here first. Now this is our EasyWeed stretch, which is the thinnest product that we have. And we're going to create a fun embossed look. So again, most of our products are a hot peel. This is one of the few that are not. So I do need to let this cool down just for a second. I do get pretty impatient though, so I'll peel it warm and it's fine. So even though it's a very thick vinyl, it still has a soft, stretchy hand to it. It doesn't actually feel like a brick when you're wearing it. It actually feels quite nice. My shirt here is actually all brick 600. So just a lot of fun, even by itself, it's great. But we're going to add a little bit of oomph to it. So by layering the EasyWeed stretch on top. So I have a little custom mini pillow here. It's just a leg and sleeve pillow cut in half. That's how we do them. So just to add a little bit of pressure here, because I really want to get into these little areas, I'm going to add this pillow. So I'm going to put the stretch right on top. Even as I can. Now I'm just going to tack it down for 1 second. Just 1 second. Feel the carrier hot. And now I'm going to do it for the full dwell time, which EasyWeed stretch should go on for 20 seconds. Clean up my mess here. Let go for a couple more seconds. And now you have, now this might be hard to see on a screen, I know, but you have like an embossed look to it. So it's like a 3D looking effect. It kind of looks like a faux patch in a way, but just a lot of fun. See that? So that is great by itself or with a layer on it. It's just a lot more fun. We also have a digital version of the brick. It's called DigiBrick. So that's also a thicker raised product that you would put through or print on the solvent or eco solvent printer. And then we also have sparkle print. Again, solvent, eco solvent, latex printers, but just some more fun products that you can use. So speaking of layering, have you ever layered any vinyl on cotton, especially when it's several different colors? Cotton tends to shrink in the heat. So maybe by your second or third color, your vinyl isn't matching up anymore. It's because between every press, your cotton is actually shrinking. So we do have a solution for that. So this is a Siser EasyWeed Advantage. Any one of our EasyWeed products, I'm using the EasyWeed Electric. This black shirt. So 100% cotton. We're just going to preheat that for a second to get that moisture out. And then we're going to apply our first layer for only 1 to 2 seconds. So put that down, 1, 2, feel that hot. And then we're going to add our top layer for that. And now I'll do this for the full dwell time. Sorry, I need to use. And this is just a heat transfer cover sheet. It just protects the garment, the vinyl, especially with sublimation. I would only use these because you don't want to get any ink on your heat press. So if I were doing several layers, I would just tack each layer down for 1 to 2 seconds. And then for your top layer, you would press it for the full dwell time, which is anywhere between 10 and 12 seconds. So, yeah. Easy layering trick. EasyWeed Advantage for cotton. Now, one of my favorite tricks is weeding on a warm surface. Now, I'm a big fan of weeding. I know that's not the most popular thing, but some of us find it to be very therapeutic, and I think it's great. But weeding on a warm surface is a game changer. So you can use a griddle, put it on low, for example. I'm just using my bottom platen here. And once you heat that up, it literally weeds like butter. So what it's doing is this has a tacky carrier on it, tacky backer, and it's loosening that tack and letting the vinyl release a lot smoother. It also cuts your production time down by 60%, that's a big number. And time is money, right? Maximizing your profits with this weeding kit. So we do have some questions coming in. Thank you very much. First question is, can HTV be used with a home iron? The answer is mostly yes. Most of our products, if you look on our app, for example, it'll say you can iron it on. If you are a professional business, I would recommend having a heat press just because it's going to be more consistent. It's not going to have, at least nicer heat presses aren't going to have any cold spots like irons do. In irons, you're relying more on pressure from you pushing it down. So it's more like muscle memory, where this is dialed in here, or depending on what heat press you have. So yes and no, it's fine for crafts or things for home and friends and family. But if you're a professional crafter and actually selling your creations, I would recommend having a heat press. Another question is washability, and that's a very good question. They range. Typically, I say most of our vinyls will last the life of the garment. So example, like EasyWeed or our color print products. They'll never peel as long as they're applied correctly. So time, temperature, and pressure, as long as those three things are in line, you'll have a perfect garment. It's going to depend on how you wash and dry your apparel. So if you're putting things more in the dryer, you might get less washability on like Puff, for example. EasyWeed, I always get at least 60 washes out of EasyWeed. But like Puff, for example, or foils, things like that, you might get a little bit less of a washability with. We recommend hang dry or tumble dry low. But if it's something on a hat, for example, you're not going to wash that a whole lot. So, it could last forever, essentially. Another question is, can I use a home printer with the DTV? Absolutely. That's what it's made for. You can use your standard desktop inkjet printer. As long as it's an aqueous inkjet, you're good to go. So if you have a $40 printer at home or a $200 eco tank at home, as long as it's aqueous inkjet inks, you're solid. Another good question I get is about storing vinyl. Now, heat transfer vinyls have a hot peel adhesive on it, or hot fix adhesive, I should say. So if you're storing this in the sun or next to a window where it gets very warm, or in your car, you can activate this adhesive where it's going to stick to that carrier now, and it's not going to want to come off. So make sure it's not stored next to anything warm or too hot. You want to have it somewhat temperature controlled. What are other products you can sublimate on? That is another great question, and I'm excited to tell you that since a lot of crafters will try anything, we learned that our EasyWeed Glow in the dark is you can sublimate on. You can also sublimate on our Sparkle on the white and the clear, comes out great. You can also sublimate onto our Glitter heat transfer vinyl because that is also a polyester base. We also have really fun sublimation markers that are really cool. So you just use regular copy paper, not sublimation paper, that could ruin the marker, but use just a regular copy paper, draw your image or have your kids draw an image. The only thing is it has to be drawn backwards. So I would use a Sharpie on one side, and then on the other side, you can color it in or copy it. Have your kids, color in a coloring book page or something like that and apply that, just regular copy paper. But that does have to go on a 100% polyester. So it's basically just sublimation ink in a pen form, which actually the vinyl cutters do come with a pen tool, or an adapter, I should say. So you can put the sublimation markers in the Romeo and Juliet cutters with that adapter. The adapter does come free with the cutters. Can you decorate hard surfaces? Another great question. So yes, you can. So we have our heat transfer vinyl, which that's what I was primarily showing today. We also have adhesive vinyl called our EasyPSV. So EasyPSV Starling, that's our standard matte finish. Most are matte, some are gloss. It's a dishwasher friendly product and the easiest vinyl I've ever weeded in my life. And like I said, I like weeding. I've done a lot of it. That one's just a pleasure. It's not frustrating like some products can be. So that comes in just standard matte. We also have glitter colors. Just a standard matte though we list as the dishwasher friendly. The other ones use caution. We also have a holographic, that's a lot of fun, a blackboard, and a glow in the dark. And that EasyPSV Starling was launched with Avery, and so they are manufacturing that product for us. It's a great partnership. Layering strip. Oh, so another thing about hard surfaces too is I have a lot of fun with this, is you can decorate wood with HTV if you wanted to. I even decorate paper, all my journals, all my file folders, manila folders, everything's covered in glitter vinyl. So my office is very glittery. My favorite color is glitter, of course. So yeah, you can do some hard surfaces with HTV, but not like glass. You want it to be a porous surface. So glass will not work. I've tried it, it did not work. These are some fun samples too. I was asked again about layering. So this is our Strip Block Pro, and this might be hard to see on the camera, but our Strip Block Pro is the only layerable strip block on the market. It's also child safe, just like most of our other products, or I think all of our other products. But this is about 10 layers of vinyl. So very popular on hats especially. But you can get a really fun effect out of these 3D layered designs. I think this one's maybe about 7 or 8 layers of vinyl. And then this one too. So a lot of fun stuff to maximize your profits that you can't necessarily get out of like DTF or DTG. And these are great for even large runs, smaller runs, I mean, whatever you're doing. We've got the 2-second tack that also speeds up your production, as well as the weeding trick that really speeds up production too. So time is money. And if anybody has any other questions, just let us know.
Thank you so much, Melissa. And thank you everyone for joining us today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at 408-394-7595 or send us an email at orders@inkjetbiz.com. Here's to maximizing profits with Siser Vinyls and to the continued success to each and every one of you. Have a great evening.